Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Janet Stewart is off. I'm Riley Laychuk. Justin Trudeau and Erin O'Toole held dueling announcements this morning in Winnipeg. They made promises about jobs and benefits, but also faced questions about Canada's investigation into the remains of children at residential schools. CBC's Bartley Kivas followed the leaders today. It's legislation that has been nothing short of controversial in this province. If enacted, it would centralize education decision-making with government and would see most of the province's school boards eliminated. Alan Campbell is president of the Manitoba School Boards Association. Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
First, what is your reaction to Heather Stephenson saying Bill 64 is done if she's leader?
It's a pleasant surprise. We knew that the Education Modernization Act, Bill 64, would have to be part of the progressive conservative leadership race.
How confident are you that those changes will be made in the future here?
Our position has been that, as well as many of our education partners and stakeholders, has been that this bill is flawed beyond the point of amendment. We need to have this bill withdrawn.
Well, John is off today, so I'm covering your weather tonight as well. And we have seen some fairly wet weather across much of southern Manitoba today. We did see some severe weather moving through parts of the southeast. I want to show you some photos now from Steinbach. Brendan shot these earlier in the day. And as you can see, some torrential rain falling there over the noon hour earlier in the day. You can see some streets flooded there. Well, we want to bring you some developing news now. Winnipeg police have a section of Main Street blocked off. Police say Main and Market is closed this hour because of a collision involving a pedestrian. Traffic is being rerouted onto eastbound Market, including Winnipeg Transit. Police are asking people to avoid the area if possible, and we will bring you more details on this as they become available. Well, the frantic race to get out of Afghanistan continues. Thousands of people who helped foreign forces, including Canada, are desperate to leave now that the Taliban has taken control. But evacuations are being stymied by cumbersome processes in and out of the country. CBC's Karina Roman has the latest. Janet, we can tell you that this arrest happened this afternoon in St. Pierre-Jolie. This was one of the communities on his so-called Mad Max tour in Manitoba. Now, that tour included a stop in Winkler tonight and was supposed to be in Winnipeg this weekend as well. Now, there's no word yet if those events will still go ahead, but we can show you now some video of that arrest. You can see Maxime Bernier in the back of an RCMP vehicle here. We know this arrest happened after that rally in St. Pierre-Jolie. Now, this video was shot by our colleagues at Radio Canada. Say Mr. Bernier knew of the health orders and has already received a ticket. Now, the continuation of the offense of violating the current public health orders in Manitoba has resulted in his arrest. He is charged under the Public Health Act with contravening a provision of the Act for assembling in a gathering at an outdoor public place. Now, we've also heard from the People's Party of Canada on this. They say Bernier was wrongfully arrested for opposing what they call unjustified, unscientific, and disastrous lockdown measures and claim that his constitutional rights have been violated. Janet?
Riley Laychuk reporting live tonight. Thank you.
What was it like when you found out that you were going? You mentioned it was about a month ago. What was that moment like for you?
It was really crazy. I almost still can't believe it. It's really just an incredible opportunity.
Our top priority is getting as many people back to work in good jobs in every part of Canada.
We are in a global green rush.
I will fight for justice. You can count on us to fight for justice.
It's up to us to set the example.
Still ahead, jobs, reconciliation, and climate change. It's day 6 on the campaign trail. More election coverage coming up. And I will have your wet provincial weather forecast. You're watching CBC Winnipeg News. But turning back to the election, this will be the first full weekend of the campaign, and the party leaders are adding more planks to their platforms. As we showed you earlier, Conservative leader Erin O'Toole was in Winnipeg today. He added some detail to the party's plan to recover the 1 million jobs that have been lost since the start of the pandemic. For more, we've reached Garrison Settee, the Grand Chief of Manitoba Keewatin Okanagan. Grand Chief, thank you for being here today.
It's very good to be here.
I want to talk about your meeting with the Liberal leader, but your organization held your annual assembly this week. You were given another 3-year mandate by MKO chiefs. What are your priorities going forward? Right. I mean, like, he's on the election trail here making these promises, yet several of the First Nations in your group, for example, still don't have clean drinking water in 2021. You look back, as you mentioned, on how the pandemic was handled. There was criticism that the federal government, the help that the federal government gave was too little too late. Do you have faith in the words that he was telling you today?
Well, I think that throughout our experience as First Nation leaders that
Grand Chief Garrison Settee, thank you for coming on the program tonight.
it's my honor. Thank you so much.
Thousands of disaster-weary Haitians have had to spend a miserable night, drenched by a passing tropical depression after already being battered by a weekend earthquake. While crews search for more victims in the rubble, those who survived the quake are in desperate need of supplies and care. 1,900 people have now been confirmed dead. Many aid agencies have been forced to coordinate from Haiti's capital because of unexpected challenges. We have local reaction to the situation in Haiti just ahead, but first the latest from Port-au-Prince from CBC's Ellen Morrow. I'm joined now by Arsenal Messidor, an immigration consultant here in Winnipeg and a member of the city's Haitian community. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
It's my pleasure, Riley, and thank you for having us.
I have to ask you first off, how are your friends and family back in Haiti doing? I'm running out of time here, but if there is one thing that you wanted people to take away from this, from everything that has happened in Haiti, what would that be?
Well, what I would like people to take away is Haiti has been suffering a lot.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight. You can always find news at cbc.ca/Manitoba, and I will see you at 11. Have a good night.